Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I wanted to bring you guys some transcended Makkari action, or perhaps some tier 3 Ikaris or some transcended Sersi action, but I can't. I'm going to be doing a tier 2 review of all three of these characters today in this video because I'm being dunked on the Makkari epic quest while simultaneously being dunked on her search for potential. I'm halfway there, so I can't even transcend her. Keep in mind, she does not get transcended through the epic quest, and her epic quest, unlike Sersi's and unlike Ikaris's, has not one but 2 roadblocks. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it will take you a minimum of 3 days to complete Makkari's epic quest, which means in a single day, if you have enough crystals to refresh timeline battle, you can do all of Ikaris's quest, all of Sersi's quest, and the first third of Makkari's quest. Yes, I know. So that is where we are today. Obviously, I want to bring you guys the content. I'm honestly simultaneously a little bit annoyed that I can't do it, but also a little bit amused by it. I've rarely had this experience in Marvel Future Fight where I want to build these characters and I can't. So I kind of like, you know, MFF's playing hard to get with me right now. They're being kind of coy. They're not really returning my calls. And I kind of like it in a weird way. But yeah, just so you guys have a heads up here, if you are doing Makkari's epic quest, you are going to be stopped 2 times with the clear ensues madness. It's basically going to ask you, I think I was doing data recovery 2. Yeah, it asked me to clear this 3 times. And so I did that. And then it asked me to clear it another 3 times. And if you go to the quest, you'll see that it only has 4 clears per day. So you can't do that, and there's no way to refresh these. Now, on top of doing the tier 2 review here of these characters in today's video, I do want to give you guys some more, I want to proffer up some more information that I've gotten from the epic quest and from other players. So the first big piece of information that I actually saw in the comments in yesterday's video, and I failed to mention in that video, is Ikaris. Specifically for Ikaris, okay, if you are going to be doing his epic quest, you should get your Ikaris to level 70 before you start the epic quest. I don't know what the heck my alliance mates are talking about. They're clowns right now. But anywho, you want to get your Ikaris to level 70 before you begin the quest. Now, you need a tier 2 Ikaris anyways to start the quest. So it's not like you can bring in a 1-star Ikaris. So you're going to need a tier 2 Ikaris. But the reason why you want your Ikaris to be level 70 and not level 60 is because if you already have Ikaris at 62, 64, 66, 68, or 70, the game, the epic quest will reward you with bios. And they reward you with 200 bios each time. It's like a lot of bios. It's basically enough bios to get his uniform to Mythic for free. So for those of you that were on the fence about using a Mega Mythic ticket for Ikaris, don't. Just get your Ikaris to level 70 and then go through the epic quest. So that's the tip I have for you there. For Makkari, you can see here that her epic quest deluxe pack, we've already sort of talked about the rewards. The shifter bios, it says you will get either Sersi or Ikaris bios, but a lot of players are reporting that even if Sersi is a striker, even if Sersi is the shifter, you get Ikaris bios. So it's great. You also have a chance to farm artifacts. I'm just going to run through the mission here so you guys can see it because I do have to play it 3 times, but I can only play it 2 times right now. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. You can beat it with like any tier 2 character. Basically, you don't have to bring in like tier 3s. It's a pretty cool fight. You go on to Titan, to Thanos' throne, and you fight the Infinity Gauntlet version of Thanos. They basically just took She's too fast, ladies and gentlemen. They basically took the version of Thanos from the endgame legendary battle, and they pasted it in here for you to battle him. And then you get your rewards, you get your gold, you get your bios, 5 bios. I get a 1-star artifact. It seems like you always get an artifact. So at the very least, you get 4 1-star artifacts per day, which is an extra 20 Celestial Essence per day, which means every 13 days, even if you don't do any other farming, you'll be able to open up the Celestial chest, the Celestial 10 times chest. So that means you can get about 2 per month for free. And that's assuming the lowest possible rewards, right? If you pull a 2-star or a 3-star artifact from this mission, then obviously that's going to, like that. Wow. Was that? Okay, yeah. 3-star artifact. If you pull a 3-star artifact, then obviously that's going to rapidly increase how quickly you can open up a Celestial box. So yeah, I think it's a really good mission, especially because you have another way of very easily and quickly farming up artifacts, which you can then crunch down, you can then dismantle down into Celestial Essence, And I'm actually going to go ahead and do my 10 drop right here, hoping for a 6-star Wolverine artifact. No. Okay, maybe next time. Anywho, let's jump into some content with these characters. My general view of these characters here is that Ikaris is leaning towards PvP value. Sersi is sort of straddling the line between PvP and PvE. She seems like she can be great for both. And then Makkari seems like she's going to be very good for PvE. And then I'm just not sure about PvP. It's always tough for speed types in PvP because of characters like Wolverine, Luke Cage, Hulk, etc. The combat types, Colossus. But also they have the lowest base stats. However, speaking of base stats, if you go ahead and look at the base stats for Makkari, she actually has insanely high base HP. Her base HP is 38,000, which if you compare that to the native tier 2 Quicksilver, he actually only has 27,000. So Makkari has 11,000 more base HP than Quicksilver, one of the tankiest speed types. Another very tanky speed type, Rogue, here you can see is not even touching 30,000 base. So Makkari may have big value for PvP. It's yet to be seen. I usually don't like to overstate the value of them in the value of speed types in PvP because they're so rare. But let me show you first what she can do in PvE. Now, keep in mind, Makkari, just a quick rundown here of the build. She has the leadership ability. All of the Eternals do. Sersi, Ikaris, Hyperion, and Makkari all have the leadership, so they all synergize with White Fox. We've just got physical damage Uru, physical attack Uru. We've got Overdrive Stage 10. You've got no custom gear, no artifact, and then you've got the rare uniform. So I think I can actually upgrade this. Okay, cool. We're going to upgrade this to Heroic here. It doesn't really matter that this third stat here. Recovery rate is fine. I was just going to set it to HP. But anywho, we're going to jump in and you're going to see how strong she is. Now, I know I have 22% Pierce. I wanted to reiterate that because I've seen a lot of people saying I have 25% Pierce in the comments. Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen, incorrect. But check this out. It's going to blow you away, okay? You're going to do 3. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe. Okay, all right, I goofed it up. You gotta. There's a little bit of a rhythm to Makkari. You gotta delay cancel on 3. It's easier with SFX on. I'll show you guys what SFX on looks like later. It's actually really cool. But you're basically going to 3, delayed cancel 5 for big damage, and then you're gonna do 4, and then you're gonna do 2, and then you're gonna do 1, and then pretty much right away you can go back into 3, and then 5. Not kidding here, and then 4, and then 2, and then 1, and then 3, and then 5. Okay, she's not taking much damage right now because of the buff she gives herself. But as you can see, not only is she pumping out tons of damage, but Proxima's basically not moving. This is the part I love the most. Dang. Okay, she slipped away from me just a little bit here. But, yeah. She's so busted. Okay. This is actually not going to be my fastest run. My fastest run was 4 minutes and 1 second. So we're a little bit slower than that. But that's okay. Guys, I gotta say, I know it's tough to maybe think about it from your point of view, from your roster. You have less cards, less Pierce, whatever. Hopefully you don't have less cards. Hopefully you have 5 cards equipped. But when I saw this, I gotta tell you, this was insane. For her to take 1 minute to clear stage 99 with no obelisk is absolutely disgusting. Now, it's not an exact comparison here because Quicksilver does not have the leadership ability. Okay, so you can't take advantage of the full White Fox buffs. Okay, but my Quicksilver is tier 3. Okay, he's got Uru there. He's got a CTP of Greed. He's got a mythic uniform. Yeah, can't click the uniform there. Okay, check out how long it takes him to do this stage. Again, it's not a one-to-one comparison. I don't have any. I have like Daredevil, but you guys could be like, oh, Daredevil's too old of a character. Daredevil's a PvP character, whatever. Look at how much damage he does, just so you have a comparison, right? Just so you have a comparison of how much damage she was doing in a rotation. I don't want to do the full fight here, but spoiler alert, it takes him about a minute So he's basically as slow, or in this case, as fast as Makkari, despite the fact that he's tier 3, not level 60, okay? And the fact that he has a CTP of Greed, which is not as good as like an Energy or Rage or whatever, but is still a lot more damage than no Obelisk at all. No Obelisk at all, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's mind-blowing. So I think that there's big things in store for Makkari personally. But actually, this is a little bit faster than I did. Okay, so he didn't take a minute then. Okay, 45 seconds. All my skills are on cooldown. Okay, so 50 seconds, not bad. But yeah, so he's only 10 seconds faster than her, with my fastest run being 4:01 that I did on stream last night. He's only 10 seconds faster than her. Tier 3 versus tier 2, and having a Greed versus not having anything. For those of you guys that want a more one-to-one comparison, again, I did Daredevil, who does have the leadership ability, and he also doesn't have a damage proc. He's got like a PvP CTP, so it's just like his raw damage. He was nowhere near. It took him like 90 seconds to clear the stage, so he was like a full 30 seconds slower than Makkari, which is crazy, because again, these guys are over 40,000 physical attack, whereas Makkari, if you don't count Ikaris' leadership, of course, she's rocking 31,000. She's like 9,000 physical attack or more lower, right? She's like 14,000 physical attack lower than Quicksilver, 10,000 lower than Daredevil, and she's crushing them in terms of raw damage when you account for his Greed, or you know, just in general compared to Daredevil. That's crazy. So for me, I'm very excited about Makkari. Again, she's only level 60, so she's gonna get even better when she gets Speed Force. I'm very excited to see how good she's going to be. And here's the other really good thing, that the kicker for her, for PVE, for World Boss Legend content. One, she has 30%, oh, where is it? She has 30% ignore dodge, which is good for Null. And she's a speed type, which is good for Mephisto. That is so sick. Yeah, I think she's gonna knock it out of the park personally. Okay, now we're going to move on to Sersi here. And Sersi, I think, is going to be a little bit confusing for some players. We're going to jump into stage 99. I'm going to show you guys really quickly here. We're going to do this. And I think one thing people are going to see for Sersi is her damage is going to look lower, especially if you compare her in something like Cull Obsidian. You can be like, my Sersi's actually worse with this uniform? Doesn't make any sense. She got a support buff with this uniform. So she's actually dealing even more damage to villains, because it's not just the 30% energy attack on her passive, it's also the increased damage to villains. But you do the 3 cancel 4 cancel 5 combo, and it's really cool to see the bus explode and stuff, but you're like, huh, it's less than 2 bars of damage? What's going on? It's about 2 bars of damage? Why is she not doing more damage? I mean, it's a new uniform, it should be better, right? So the reason why is, if you notice here, Cull Obsidian isn't moving at all. He's not moving at all. Her charm and her other paralysis and other crowd control effects are making him, like, are locking him down completely. So this is really good for players who want like that very smooth sort of Scarlet Witch, Enchantress sort of world boss experience, where you just do your skills and the boss stands there taking it. That's exactly what you're going to get now with Sersi. They upped her debuffs, but that means she's not going to accumulate. So this is more like her raw damage. Whereas if you swap over to her uniform, like if you take off her uniform, and there's no argument here, like Sersi's uniform is definitely better than the base kit, because like right off the bat, she's given that buff, right? She's given the damage reduction, which is great, and the thing, but then she's also given, look at that, all Eternals allies, not only do they get the 30% attack, which also applies to Makkari, they also get the 30% increased damage to villains and the 30% reduction. So she's going to be way tankier. And then, again, it's swapped from... Oh, it's still basic attack. Okay, it's fine. I thought it was energy attack. But anywho, if you swap back to this one, you're actually going to see that she might be faster, and you might be confused by that. So I just wanted to cover this initially for Sersi, because I think some people might be confused and might think she's bad. No way. I mean, I don't think she's just a support type. I want to get that out of the way as well. I think she's a standalone. You know, people are comparing her to Moonstone and Supergiant. But there you can see I just did 3 bars of damage. Why? Because I accumulated. And the accumulation spikes her damage. So you won't be able to see the accumulation, and you won't be able to see the real true damage that she's doing against regular bosses, because she can lock them down permanently now, you will see a big increase when you go into these bosses that you can't lock down. Or some of the bosses like Thanos in between, like in the second phase of Thanos, you're going to be able to see a huge increase there. Now, for Ikaris, although I said that he's mostly PvP, I do want to show you guys his PvE potential here. The build is pretty straightforward. I haven't really changed it since March. He's got basic Uru. He's got the Power of Angry Hulk stage 10, and then he's got a guard break, ignore dodge, 180 proc obelisk with a legendary uniform. I'm just waiting on those bios to get that all the way. Now, I'll show you guys the comparison here that he does. We'll just do that. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Not trying to, you know, the point is not to juice him full of tons of buffs. But one thing that a lot of the Eternals are lacking is chain hit. So I think White Fox is a huge buffer for them because she applies just a 10% chain hit. But, it stacks up. It adds up over a lot, over a long time. Now, I think 3 cancel 5 is the best, rotation for him. And then just do the 4 later. If you can manage it, of course, squeezing in the 4 after the 5, after he starts flying with the 5 would be best. But we'll just do the first 30 seconds so you guys can see. Oh, I think I just missed my proc, actually. Okay, well, even though I missed my proc, it's fine. We'll squeeze in one more proc here. So he's able to put... Okay, so in 35 seconds, he's able to put Cull Obsidian down to 11 bars. You can see it pretty much straight away when you play his old uni, even though this uniform offensively really only added the increased damage on the 4th skill. Most of the other buffs on the uniform are defensive buffs. Well, they did add the 10% chain hit, which is nice, but the rest of it is defensive buff, like increased damage or decreased damage received. All 3 of these uniforms are worthwhile. I didn't really cover Makkari's base look, but it's a big upgrade for Makkari as well. But you can see here, not only does the 4th skill is way shorter. Missed my proc again, nice. But it's just way less damage overall. Way less damage. There we go, we hit the proc that time. But yeah, we're gonna be at least a bar behind. Again, we'll compensate. We missed a 1 proc in both scenarios. But as you can see here, he's about a bar behind. Actually, I think I was at the bottom of 12, so he's almost 2 bars behind. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's going to compound itself even more when you get him to tier 3. But I do think his overall value, like his best value, is PvP. So I will give you guys a quick little sneak peek here. This is the PvP team that I've been running for Wolverine. And I'm just going to show you guys some manual play, because I do think there are some kinks that need to be worked out on his autoplay. His autoplay is really bad. But I'll show you guys what he looks like on manual. He's actually pretty good. I do think an authority or a regen is going to be better for him than an authority, because nope, he takes a lot of damage. He has the damage reduction, but he doesn't have enough HP and he doesn't have enough healing the way that the other characters do. I actually was winning a lot of my fights here, so I'm not really sure what that was. Like on auto, on manual, obviously, but we'll have to wait and see it when he's tier 3, because tier 2s nowadays, they can't compete at all. We'll try one more time against Mr. Stank here, but just to show you guys what it looks like. Universal versus Universal. We sort of said that when Ikaris came out, that his 5's really good against Sentry. Yeah. We sort of said this when Ikaris came out, that he's got a lot of potential. Iframe ignore, huge, long iframes, lots of burst damage, very tanky, and has healing for Universal, which is very rare. That 4th skill just crushes it now. So you can definitely see he has the potential. It's just whether or not we'll be able to make it work at tier 3. I've heard some mixed results. I've heard some people very happy with his tier 3 PvP performance, other people not so happy. But I do think, unlike Wolverine, who doesn't have, well, he didn't have the damage reduction until recently, I think that a regen is probably going to be better on him than an authority, because he already has so much damage reduction, right? He already has 30% there, and then he has another 25% there, so he's got 55% damage reduction. Now, you could try to scale that up Keep in mind, hitting 100% damage reduction does not give you like damage immunity, because ask Blue Marvel, who has base 70% damage reduction. But the higher damage reduction you have, the better it is to stack HP and healing effects. And because he has an auto heal, like that 5% or 4% that procs every second, 4%. You want to combine that, because he has low regeneration rate or recovery rate. Yeah, his recovery rate's 110. You want to get that much higher to 250, so you can try to double the amount that he heals, and then pump up his HP with a regen. I think like a mighty or a brilliant regen would actually be really good. I'll probably try that eventually, but of course, first I'm going to try him PVE tier 3, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, from what I've heard, tier 3 for PVE, he doesn't seem that impressive. And nowadays, it seems like most universal heroes aren't that impressive for PVE compared to their other typed counterparts. Like, you know, speed and blast types seem to be dominating the PVE meta from the standpoint of the heroes. But yeah, that is my take, and those are sort of my early predictions for these 3 characters for PvP and PvE in Marvel Future Fight, sort of like the tier 2 meta for them, and then moving on into the tier 3 meta. Just to summarize really quickly, I think Sersi is going to have a hand in both PvE and PvP, especially as a really good support for Eternals in Alliance Conquest. I think Ikaris is definitely going to lean heavily towards PvP, and then I think Makkari is going to lean heavily towards PvE, but Makkari could be an absolute sleeper for PvP, which could make Makkari or Sersi sort of the winners, the overall winners of this update. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hopefully, tomorrow I will bring you a Transcended Makkari, or a tier 3 Ikaris, or a Transcended Sersi. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know how you've gotten on with these locked out epic quest teases, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.